Hey guys, I'm Jameson with Rogue Engineer, and today we're going to be building a 46-inch round coffee table made out of one sheet of walnut plywood. Let's get started.
Start it up.
Okay, so for this project we're going to be using walnut plywood, and it's an expensive piece of plywood, so luckily we're going to be able to make the entire table out of one sheet. Now I've gone ahead, since we're doing a round top, I've gone ahead and made a circle cutting jig for my router, and there's a lot of videos online. I'll link to one above that you can go check out how to do that. However, basically you'd mount your router to a piece of wood, and then from the bit out, I measured 23 inches since we're gonna end up with a 46-inch top. I'm gonna be using a spiral upcut bit to cut the circle out. I'll fasten the center of the jig down to the middle where I want the middle of the top to be, and then I'll just basically screw into the piece of wood using a screw, making sure that I don't go all the way through the wood, and then I'll route around the table or a round circle to make that tabletop. So with the circle cut out, now I'm going to move on to cutting this edge of the circle off so that I have some material to work with over here. And then I'm going to head on over to the table saw and I'm going to cut 9 3.5-inch wide strips, and that is what we're going to make the base out of. Then I'm going to cut 2 strips at 1.5 inches, and then I'll head on over to the miter saw and cut those down on a 7.5 degree angle, and we will use that to build up the bottom of the tabletop to get a thicker look. So I've got the strips cut out on the table saw, and like I said, I'm headed on over to the miter saw now to make a bunch of cuts. Now, if you want the full detailed dimensions and plans and all that jazz, I've got it available for free on my website. I'll have a link in the description. Okay, so I've gone ahead and actually left these pieces a little bit long intentionally, because after I get them tacked together, I'm going to edge band them and then cut the miters. Now, this is kind of how this base goes. It's a little bit of a faux half lap joint, if you will. So I'm going to just get this positioned as nicely as possible. And then I'm going to apply a little wood glue to the bottom, and then I'm going to come back with some pin nails and pin nail it all together. That's just going to hold it in place while that glue dries. Okay, so like I said before, we want the top to have a little bit beefier look. So all of these pieces are going to be glued and tacked in place around the base of the top. And they are gonna hang over a little bit, so the goal here is to make sure that the middle of those pieces are flush with the outside of the top. So like I said, we're gonna glue those down, tack them in place, and then we'll come back with a pattern bit on the router and trim all of that off. Okay, so we got everything edge banded. It was a lot of edge banding. However, it was totally worth it. Everything looks good. The legs are nice and chunky and look great. The veneer on them matches the tabletop. The pattern bit that I used to come back through here and flush up those little pieces that I added to the bottom worked really well. So when edge banding, I cut the edge banding off of the centerpiece because that adds a little bit of thickness, and I initially had kind of made this to fit nice and tight. So now we're gonna start assembling the base. I've gone ahead and I drilled pocket holes in the bottom of these, and those are going to attach to the legs like this. Those are bigger pocket holes. Those are gonna be, I went ahead, since we've got bigger wood now, it is gonna be a 2.5 inch wood screw. And then the top is just 1x or 3/4 inch plywood. So those are just gonna be 1.25 inch pocket screws. Go ahead and assemble everything. We will oil the top and the base separately and then attach those together tomorrow. Now for the finish on this coffee table, we wanted to let the true beauty of the wood speak to us. So rather than adding some kind of top coat that's going to leave a glossy look, we opted for a natural furniture wax paste. And that gave kind of a muted finish, not too lustrous, a nice matte look, and it's gonna protect the wood for years to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a blast to build, and it turned out even better than I ever could have imagined. If you want the full plans for this one, make sure you click on that button right there, and that's gonna take you on over to the website. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that one right there. And if you wanna see our last project, this massive built-in, make sure you click on this video right here. Until next time, be safe and happy building.